On the edge of speed, we drive the line. Leave them broken at the finish sign. Glory waits for those who dare. In the heat of battle, we're prepared. No mercy shown, no second place. In this league, there's no disgrace. If you're not first, you know the luck. But in the end, it sucks to suck. On the end, it sucks. Clears and engines die. The victors stand, the rest just cry. The truth is hard, the road is rough. If you can't keep up, well, it sucks to suck. Engines roar, the lights go green. Metal beasts on gasoline. Pedal down, no turning back. Feel the thunder on the track. Chrome and steel, the battle calls. Through the smoke, we stand tall. Rivals crushed, we leave in dust. Speed is our only trust. You think you're fast, you think you're tough, but on this track it sucks to suck. Born to race, born to fight. Push the limit, own the night. Feel the fire, hear the sound. Burning rubber on the ground. No mercy shown, no second place. In this league, there's no disgrace. If you're not first, you know the luck. But in the end, it sucks to suck. Feel the rush, adrenaline. Victory in our skin. Tighten the grip, hold the line. Defeat's the word we leave behind. Danger right with every turn. In every crash, a lesson learned. The roar of engines, scream of tires. Feeds the need, ignites the fire. You thought you had the skills to win, but the checkered flag is where it begins. Born to race, born to fight. Push the limit, own the...
Welcome everyone to the Core Season 16, round number 2, coming at you from virtual Autódromo José Carlos Pace. Maybe not. But a lot of y'all know this as Interlagos. So, nice, wonderful track down in Brazil. Kind of made famous for Senna, as it shows the Senna S's right there. But we're just now kind of getting started here on qualifying. Let's hop in with Mr. Nicholas Menard. Ooh, that is not the camera we wanted here. Gonna give you a nose shot here, maybe a little bit of an interior shot. It's kind of peeking the microphone out just a little bit here. Lower that down just a little bit. All right, that looks a little better. There we go, up one notch. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Coming down through here through the Curva Do Sol, and those are the two corner names I can remember. The rest are 100% going to be in Brazilian Portuguese, and well, I know a little of the language and it's on my list of things to learn. Can't really help you more than that. Yeah, it's coming up here to this nice little section here. It's kind of a lift off the throttle, drag the brake a little, get the car to rotate, and then you got the two little hairpins here. Get down, take all of the curbs. Same here, but you don't want to get too much on the curbs. It will cause the car to spin into yet another hairpin here. So if you kind of see there's a theme for these slower speed corners here, along with these long sweepers. So this track does put a lot of energy on the tires. You got to be careful. It used to be that you could go over there. They've redone the track limits. That if you get over there, you get an off track now. It's something I struggle with at this track. Like I paid for the whole track, I'm going to use it, including the sections that occasionally get me an off track. But as we go on here to the start finish line, they're going to now dip into the Senna S there. Brake late. Cut it down in hard here. Take as much curb as you dare. Same here. want to be able to get back on the power early. Last lap of 132.0 for Maynard. You saw he had the slide there. And the corner coming up here. There we go. Kind of show him from this angle here. Yeah, you got to be real careful right there. You can wander an off track real quick, and looks like that is going to be an off track, and that was his starting his second lap. So I'm guessing he's calling that one quits there. Currently showing Ricky Renner taking the grass line after his second lap there. Phillip Adams taking the top spot now. Dan Griffith taking the top spot there. And yeah, I forgot my SDK's HUD's not working, so I'm having to keep an eye on the OBS window. I just realized I still had that over the top of the screen. But 71 degrees here tonight. And humidity's not too bad, so overcast, that'll help with the track temps. We'll go here, kind of show you how we're going to do overall there on the timing tower. Kind of show you what the time's looking at. Dan Griffith holding provisional pole here with a 1:31.115. Phillip Adams is right in there. Then Ricky Renner, Jake Browning, also up there at the top. Brian Voice putting in a nice show. So we're going to see some of these guys here in a couple more races get slotted into their divisions, and that rookie division's going to kind of just disappear. But yeah, Michael Schwartz doing good there in 6th, another one of our platinum drivers. So was looking forward to having a good race with him last night in CSRL, but alas, I got LMP2'd off the track, and we didn't get to see that one out. Yeah. So Nicholas Menard, I guess losing that lap there, gonna be starting in 7th, but judging by practice earlier, he's going to be at the very top there with Dan Griffin. So we'll be looking at him to be making his ways up through the field. Josh Betts doing a nice job, currently sitting in 8th with Tyler Roberts in 9th. Bierman doing a good job also up there in 10th place. So let's see. Got Josh in 13th. And I just realized we're going to have a thing. I need to pull this up, go to my settings, go to audio, and we need to turn voice chat off. That way we do not get to hear anyone's complaints during the race. So, looking back through here, looks like trying to find someone that's still on track here. Looks like it's going to be a Visu Awesome here in the Koos Porsche. Give us a little entertainment there, B, while we... Well, how's everybody? Why are you going to run off in the grass there after the end? I'm trying to think No, the line's a little further up than that. You should still be able to hit the brakes at the normal time and be full throttle across the finish line, but definitely something we'll try to keep an eye on these guys here tonight. I'm going to pull up with a weather thing here real quick and show it. It is 80-degree track temp, just a little 3-mile-an-hour wind, nothing too bad. And like I said, it's overcast. We got about 2.5 minutes till this qualifying is over. Let's see. Let's see. So I got a few off tracks during qualifying. We're just going to pull those up just to see what guys we're doing here. Yeah, that's a little wide in that corner. That's one we're going to see play on repeat. And I got a feeling this is going to be a mirror image. Yep. The corner invites you to get on the throttle early, but you really do just have to wait for it. Got another one here. Let's see what's happening with William. Is it the same corner? Why, yes it is. It's that same corner. Made slightly famous by Verstappen passing Hamilton around the outside and having to give the spot back. If you're a football fan, then you'll probably, or not football, F1 fan, you'll get the thing. So, looks like we're gonna have 32 drivers going to be competing for us here tonight. Got about 10 more seconds till we get to the end of this session here and be able to swap it on over. Ooh, that's a nice paint job on that McLaren there for Chris Hayes. All right. We can pull our grid up now. Taking provisional poll with that 131, 115 will be Dan Griffith. Philip Adams will be starting in second. Third will be Ricky Renner. Jake Browning in fourth. Brian Vorse in fifth. Sixth is going to be Michael Schwartz. And I need to find... There it is. Seventh will be Nicholas Menard. Josh Betts in eighth. Ninth place will be Tyler Roberts. Zane Bierman starting in 10th. And 11th is going to be Tyler Reed. Chris Hayes in 12th. Josh Anderson in 13th. 14th will be James Molyneux. 15th will be Tim Thompson. 16th will be Stephen Wilcox. Shane Chen in 17th. 18th will be Eric Martin. Rene Badia Jr. will be 19th. We have seen Rene run with us before, and he might be out of rookies by now. We'll check next week to be sure. Alex Jasper starting in 20th. 21st will be Abiy Vishwasam. 22nd, Michael Picone. 23rd, Warren Sanger. 24th, Eric Langkamp. 25th is going to be Charles Adams. Aaron Reed in 26th. Michael Rakes in 27th. William Burrow in 28th. Starting in 29th will be Ryan Miriam. 30th will be Alan Gullison. 31st, Kerry Corcoran. And Romario Jackson in 32nd. That is your starting grid here tonight. And the guys have not started moving yet. Looking at the nice iRacing pace car there. You know, I need to save the camera views for the pace car because I don't think I have that. Though there's not actually an easy way using SDK to get in the car there. But what we can do is I can do this in the meantime. Kind of work our way through the field here. Maybe so TV2 gonna be a slightly better. You can kind of look through the drivers here and see what the paint jobs are looking like. It appears we do have short pits turned on. As you can see, there is the field. Or not short pits, short pace lap. They did not start at the very back. They are coming around through here, so that's going to be into this here pit there. Yeah, I'm going to have to see why SDK's overlay is not working for me because the green flag lights on my end are much bigger, so I may have to be rebuilding my overlay from scratch. As the iRacing pace car is going to get ready to come on in here. All right. There we go. As the lights are red and it'll be going green. There we go. We're off down into turn one here. Gonna stay side by side with Dan Griffin and Philip Adams. Who's gonna come out in the lead? Looks like it's gonna be Dan just nudging it out there. Looking back through here. Oh, I see Chris Hayes going off track there. Everybody else kind of keeping it all clean. Check back up front as they go into one of, on cold tires, this corner, real easy to catch that off track. Especially running too wide. Kind of keep an eye on the field through here. Looks like everybody's making it through. Go back up front here. Is Adams going to have anything for Dan? Through the slow corner here. I got to TV2 on this particular one. And looks like Dan able to kind of hold that gap off here, but one of the things about Interlagos here is you've got the drag strip essentially launching out of that slow speed corner all the way up the hill. It's one of the places where, because you're going uphill, that draft makes a little bit more difference in other places. You see, they will cut across the pit lane entrance there, trying to make that as straight and as short as possible. Looking back through here, keep an eye on Nicholas Menard as he has Michael Schwartz right in front of him. See if he is tucked right back up to the back of Schwartz. Here's he going to try to make the move to the inside of this one. There's some passing to be done here, but it is, especially on cold tires, one of those that's maybe not the best. Looking like Menard is going to look for the pass coming into the, right there on the back bumper of Schwartz. Looks like a NASCAR draft the way he's going at it there. Definitely a nice close battle here on track. Gonna take the inside there, see if he can hang it around the outside here to get the inside back on the next one. Whoa, gets off in the dirt a little. But having the inside of this one, Schwartz looking to do a little dirt track crossover there, but got the car a little too slideways. And that is going to be Menard up 2 positions from his starting spot. Check in here with Ricky Renner, losing a position to Jake Browning on the start there. One to keep an eye on. We've got another little battle here, it looks like, with Tyler Reed and Josh Betts. As you can see how strong the draft is there. Tyler going to poke his nose out. It's going to be a braking battle down into turn 1. Leaving each other just enough room. Very nice. But Betts holding on to the position for now. And that has brought Zane Bierman up into play with this group here. So now Tyler Reed's got a mirror full of Bierman. Bierman going to take him to the inside through here. Bierman going to make the pass stick, it appears. So they go down into this heavy braking zone here. Zane holding on to that position, making it back to his 10th place qualifying position. Back to the thing here. Looks like we got a little bit of pass going on here out of that is Charles Adams getting around Ryan Marion. But yeah, showing you the difference there. Nick getting a little bit of a slower start, having to pass 2 cars already. And that is a gap of 1.2 seconds to Ricky Renner to make up now. He wants to try to make his way back up. Phillip Adams dropping off the 1 second kind of draft window there off Dan Griffith this lap. But has Jake Browning and Ricky Renner on his tail. So looks like Brian Morse getting around Michael. Oh no, that pass from Menard was on Voris, not Schwartz. Schwartz is one position back there. I guess he had made the pass by the time I looked at him. All right. I should know that particular livery on that BMW. Yeah, Barry, seeing Zane in the winner's circle would be nice, but I got a feeling. Showing Zane down into 21st position. I'm going to have to scroll and see what happened. Showing a crash from him here. Let's see, as they go down into turn 1 there. Oh, just losing the back end. Little spin, but gets it back going. But with the field so tight in the early going, that is going to cost him some time. Unfortunately, Barry, not looking like to be Zane's night tonight. Let's go back live here. Not sure why it decided to go to somebody who wasn't there. Huh. Interesting. Looking like Nick slowly being able to chip away at Ricky here a little bit. He's got it down by about 1/10 of a second this lap. If he can close in a little more, he'll be in that draft window. You can kind of see here how these gaps are looking. You got 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there in a little group with 5th place closing in. But as they turn up here, you'll see the lead that Dan Griffith already has on these guys. Trying to make it out of frame, or we can't even catch them in the same one. 0.9 of a seconds for Menard getting to Ricky there. Let's see if we pull up a little battle box and kind of show you this. I'm showing that the wrong way. But this way, though, you can see what Nick is managing to take out of Renner there. 2 tenths, and then a 10th, and then 100. So. Yeah, Baron, I'm not sure we call that one the commentator curse or the YouTube commentator curse. I don't know. Commenter, not commentator. But looking back through here, getting some. Oh, that was Sheng Chen way outside the track there. But nice little battle going on between this group here. So we have Stephen Wilcox, Warren Sanger, and Ryan Merriam. These 3. We have Sanger there going from the inside to the outside, going to make it stick, getting by. Looking like Schwartz getting around Brian Horse there. Let's see if I can find this one. Showing a crash at a Shang Chen. What happened here? Porsche going to do Porsche things a little bit, maybe some contact there. Let's go back live. But that is, looks like Vorse and Schwartz here are just going to be playing the no, I pass you, no, you pass me game. A little bit of a draft yo-yo. Schwartz going to take a look down to the inside, thinks better of it. Yeah, it's one of those, I would focus on the exit of this, especially if you can sell a little bit of a dummy move going in. You can really get a nice run up here. Yeah, it is insane to see how much bigger that the BMW looks than the McLaren next to it. That is Tyler Roberts looking to maybe make a move on Schwartz here too. Oh. What we have going on here, this is a little bit of a Phillip Adams and Ricky Renner. Renner looking to go around the outside. And right behind him, you've got Menard making it up to 4th position now. At the same time, Ricky going to be on the outside, back on the inside, able to put the power down. And you can see Menard's on the power too. Is he going to get a 2-for-1 deal here? Looking like he's got a little bit of a run. Ricky trying to break the slipstream as they all go within 0.2 of each other, nose to tail. Your top little lead group here, putting on a nice show for us here. Yeah, Ricky's due for a win if he doesn't make a stupid decision in pit lane. Referencing last night, although I'll probably get called out in the race review later. But yep, Ricky now has a mirror full of Phillip Adams. I'm going to hop into some of the onboards on this and let's see how this looks. If we go to we are on this one. Now you can see Vantage trying to get his run on Adams here. See, just tracking, waiting for the draft. With Maynard with Adams having the draft off Ricky too. There you go, you can see that closing speed. Gonna stick it out, gonna be on the brakes. There you go. Just gets it nice and tucked in there. Catch these guys coming back out here. So that giving Ricky just a little bit of breathing room. That is Ricky, your top 3 now: Dan Griffin, Ricky Renner, and Nick Menard. Swap the timing tower over here to the groups now. You can see having Ricky and Schwartz. Gold division, you got Phillip Adams leading. Josh Anderson, our series sponsor, leading in silver, and Tim Thompson leading bronze here tonight. So, getting a whole lot of off tracks from a certain group of people, but looking how they're coming in, I believe it's going to be off tracks in turn 3, or technically 1, 2, 3. It would be 4. But I consider the S's in my head as 1. So, as they are going down through here, not quite getting the same draft off the back of that particular McLaren this time. Only making up about a 10th there on that long straightaway, so guessing Ricky got a really good launch off there and had to overcome that time delta. Checking back in here, got Ryan Merriam and Tim Thompson changing positions there. So Ryan, one of the few guys running the Aston Martin here tonight. And I'm just going to say, this thing sounds amazing. A nice, good bellow of the British V8. And we will go, let's see who else do we have. A little bit of a battle between Renee and Zane. Zane getting back around him, trying to make his way back up to that top 10 where he qualified, that he was going to want tonight to feel good about it. Nicholas Adams here. Up 7 position. Looking like your biggest winner there currently is going to be Ryan Merriam. Up 17 positions from his start. He's in there. Looks like he's clocking in around a 131.8, which puts him right, somewhere around Brian Vorse, who's running 6th position there. So definitely some pace in Ryan's Aston there, so we'll have to keep an eye on him throughout the rest of the night, see where he makes it up to. But Dan having a 4.6 second lead over Ricky. You can see he just kind of is off to the races. But really this battle here between Ricky and Menard here is we'll have to see if Nick is close enough this time to make a little progress on that front straight, or is it a more of a thing where the McLaren gets off this corner that little bit better, making it a little hard to really get the move done. But he's a lot closer this go round. Only 0.2 as they started, now down to 0.17. Kind of looking to the outside there. Ricky just trying to make the McLaren as wide as possible. At this point, kind of wondering if Nicholas is looking to save some fuel. Maybe possibly you just jump him in the pits if he's takes a gallon or 2 less. That may get him out of there 4 seconds earlier. Because when you start dealing with these drivers that are up here near Platinum, those are the kind of decisions that they're making on the fly. When you get much above these guys, you're going to find out a lot of these guys have spotters that watch the race with them. They'll do all the calculations for the fuel for them. They'll help spot so that the drivers can just do that and drive. Let's see, look back through here. Who else do we have? I mean, this. Unfortunately, this is, I say unfortunately, it's 2nd position. Our closest battle here on track currently. These two not making overt moves just yet. But let's hop on board with Ricky and kind of show you what the rear window looks like. And then, as you can see, his little camera there is full of nothing but Ferrari. Oh, going for a little bump draft, are we? Maybe trying to give him that little shot and see if, coming in that a mile an hour or 2 quicker might mess up Ricky's braking point. Looks like we're starting to see some of the NASCAR moves coming out here. Such a good battle to be watching. These two. Just looking at the average laps here, looking like Dan's taking that little bit. 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths out of Ricky, opening that lead up. But as I'm sitting here looking, that's pretty empty that. I wish. Because it appears that the lights are now on that McLaren. On a couple cars. They are braking down to turn in. Yep, sun's definitely getting a little lower, so with about another 40 minutes left here in this race, I don't know if we'll get to full dark, but it's definitely going to get a little dim for these guys. Keep an eye on our waiting case anybody drops in there. Looking like Ricky's pulling away a little bit. Nicholas maybe taking a step back, cooling the tires off to take another attempt here in a little bit. We'll keep an eye on that. But here's a pass from Alan Gullison on Zane Bierman, maybe. Little Mustang on Corvette action. Alan and his guys recently winning the Spa 24. So, congratulations to them for that one. Alan is kind of keeping a little bit of pressure on, it appears. Alan up 13 positions from his starting spot, so he's been making some good progress here. As both Alan and Zane looking to get around Stephen Wilcox, it appears here, as they launch themselves up the long hill climb. Yep. Starting to see the serpentine going on here. It looks like Josh Anderson and Warren Sanger there into the pits. Being in 20 minutes, it's about time for some pit stops to start, depending on how you're driving. So, seeing the first set of those people come in now. So it appears we will have a two-stop race here again tonight. That is Gullison with a nice little run there, but with Zane poking his head out. But Gullison going to focus on the exit, see if he can maybe get a twofer here. Gonna try around the outside of the Corvette. Ooh, you can see those cars are just on the limit there. And Gullison not quite getting the move done around the outside. Some really good racing going on here tonight. Seeing some very good driving standards out of everyone. I know what Alan was thinking. He was thinking, can I pass him right before pit lane? It is wide enough to do it, and I have seen it done. Maybe not recommended, but we will go out here. And let's check in with our leaders who have yet to pit. Be interesting to see if Dan comes in this go round, or has Dan maybe been trying to save some fuel? Has Ricky been trying to save a little fuel? At this point, you never quite know. And as he comes around here, is he headed into the pits? It's hard to tell because the dude caught it, but yep, that is going to be Dan Griffith in this time. How about Ricky and Nicholas Menard? They are coming in as well. Philip Adams deciding to stick it out one more lap. At 25 minutes, he would need probably 2 more laps to be at the point of looking to just one stop this race. We'll keep an eye on these two here. Actually gonna, yep, there is. Let's see how long the pit box is. 18.4 for Dan Griffith. And Ricky getting moving in 17.7 and 18.17 for Nicholas. So Ricky managing to take about a second out of the lead of Dan there and buy him a little space to Nicholas. And judging by these guys we're seeing in pit lane, some of them taking tires, some of them are not. they are fueling first and then taking tires. So. See if Philip Adams will be in this time by. See him on the brakes there. Yep, in this time. So not enough minutes. 26. I think you need to make it to about 27, 28 to seriously consider the one stop. Because they do burn some fuel on the pace lap. And here, you know, the pit lane time is going to hurt you because it's on the fastest part of the track. You can see that's what your gap between your leader, Dan Griffith, and Ricky Renner is. And that second gap to Menard. And Jake Browning there, not quite able to keep up the pace with these guys here. Kind of running by his lonesome. Got about 3 seconds ahead and behind him. Gonna pull up our track map there. You can kind of see the whole track is pretty much covered here. We don't have any particular corner cameras at this one. A little wiggle out of the back. Philip Adams there, you know, doing that extra lap. Just a little bit off there. And there's Brian Morse and Michael Schwartz still at it. So these two have not been far apart all night. Looks like Ryan Marion taking another position here. Ooh, that was Romario Jackson you saw sideways there. Losing the back end of that Porsche. But Ryan trying to work on Tyler here. Make this TV2 for this track just a little bit better so we can see what TV3 looks like. It's more of some panning shots. Allen has now gotten by Zane Bierman finally, and also he had managed to get around our series sponsor Josh Anderson. We do appreciate Chase Decals there sponsoring the series. If you need anything, some decal work, things like that, they do a lot of commercial stuff. I don't really get into the motorsport side of things a lot, but if you need anything like that, please, by all means, get a hold of Josh and he can get you taken care of. Let's check in here with another guy who started towards the back of the pack, Kerry Corcoran. Now up to 16th, up 15 positions. Ryan has now gotten around Tyler Reed, making that Aston look good. As you can see, the lights are definitely on the Aston. We are almost halfway through this race here. Alright. But looks like Nicholas has caught back up to Ricky Renner. Round 2. Like. So we'll have to see if he has anything for him this go round. We can see any line differences between these two that they show where some of the speed is. Whoa! Oh, there's you a little bit right there. Definitely taking a lot more of the curve and a lot hotter entry. Unfortunately, it's going to be one of those things that's not going to just to be an easy gimme pass there. Going to be helping Ricky out. Ricky's going to be getting some of that draft. And he's going to be down into the inside here. Watch him as the braking zone. Ricky having the inside here, but just couldn't open up the front of the corner enough to really get on the power. And that's going to give second position to Nicholas Menard now that he is ahead. We'll see, can he do anything against his teammate Dan Griffin? Dan has a 6.5 second lead currently. So, you know, halfway the race done. Gap's been opened up to that, but can it be closed back down? Trying to do his best to hang on here. Looking like the Ferrari might be a little bit better over the curbs here. And that could be... It could be that simple. The Ferrari can take more curb and... See if Ricky has a chance to come back on Nicholas here. Gap is at 2.5. Looks like the McLaren able to get a good solid draft off the back of the Ferrari. And it's going to definitely give him a chance to poke his nose in if he wants it. I think Ricky going to try to focus on the exit here. See if he can't get a good run on him. Looking like he might have a little bit of something here. Ricky using all of the track and I think a little bit extra. Down through this one. You have to just wait on that throttle. Close down a little bit of time through there, but I think it's this next sector where that Ferrari is just so much better. And yeah, I think that's what it is. The Ferrari can take a lot more of those inside curbs. And you can see it just gives them a tenth or two here or there. It's going to make it real hard. The more that gap opens up, not getting that good exit though. That's going to put Ricky pretty close again, I think. Down to 3/10. About 2/10. Just not quite enough to make the run on him. 3/10 starting out coming here. Ricky again using the draft to help him try to get back up there, but it's not quite enough to get him close enough to make the move or to send the lunge. See if this lap traffic has any role to play in it. Both of them up about the same there. It's like the McLaren right there wants to take an extra little bit to get the weight shifted from side to side. It could be that simple. It just comes down to the car and, you know, maybe the setup they're using. And Michael Schwartz now still on the back of Brian Morse. Let's see if he has anything for Morse here, getting nice and close. Yeah, seeming like the BMW can't quite put the power down quite as well as he would want going into that corner there. Let's look down in here. Yep. Yeah, McLaren just seemed like it's getting out of the corners a little better. It's going to make it hard to pass. Schwartz's best option is probably going to be to just see how close he can park it to the back of Vorse's bumper and see if he can force a mistake. You know, sometimes just playing peekaboo in that rear mirror will do a lot. So we got a little bit of a battle here between James Molyneux and Eric Langkamp. Porsche not getting a great draft off the back of that NSX. But also right there behind them is Warren Sanger. Warren looking like he might want to be trying to get around Eric here. Gonna go to the inside there, get halfway along by the straightaway. It's gonna be a battle on the brakes, thinks better of it in the braking zone. Because that is one of those corners, if you try to go through too wide there, you're going to need to take about 10 miles an hour off what you would normally go through to get both cars through. Because on the exit, the banking just kind of falls away from you. And that was Charles Adam getting in. He's going to see if he can't make a little bit of progress there. Checking back up here. Gap up to about a half a second now. So Ricky's not just letting him run away with it. Definitely making Nicholas having to work on it. But the gap between Nicholas and Dan is just kind of holding steady there. You know, hadn't made it out to that 7-second gap yet, but keeping him honest. Ricky 0.8 of a second behind now coming up this thing. That's putting him right at the edge of where you're really getting any benefit from that draft. Check back in with Schwartz here. And Boris there, kind of just same old, same old. These two just going at it, not quite enough. Schwartz, if he wants to take home the division-winning gold tonight, he's going to have to find 3.5 seconds just about to pick up on the back of Philip Adams here in that McLaren. Now Ryan Merriam is up 20 positions, has Alan Gullison 2 spots behind him at 19. Running very similar lap times between those two, but then, of course they have Tyler Reed in between them. Yeah. This gap getting a little closer as the daylight is fading here in Sao Paulo. It's definitely on my list of tracks I want to go to in real life. And let me take a quick little look here. Yes. Yeah, these two just kind of they've been playing with this 3 and 4/10 gap the entire time. You know, we're getting on to, there's that 40-minute mark. We should start seeing some second rounds of pit stops here real soon. Oh no. Showing a crash from Aviva Suvasam. What happened to a B here? It is Porsche go spinny spin spin. We'll run that back and see if we can see where he actually lost it. Lost on the entry to 1 here. Yep, a little too much brake, and there she goes. I got a feeling that he got on the brakes a little too hard and should have went from the gas, not the brake. Oh, little double spin there. There you go. First set of takers here on pit lane for round number 2. Just going to be see how long they're going to need to take for fuel here. It's probably not going to be as long as your first. None of these people going up in the air. 13.2 for Zane. 14.07 for Renee. See William Burrow here. It's going into the pits. Nope, he's just taking that inside line there. Has a B looking. A B probably still dealing with tires that are a little hot. Check in with our leader here. He is trying to make his way through a little bit of lap traffic there. So looking here. Got that. They're going to be coming up to some lap traffic here. Oh no! Evasive maneuvers. Is that going to open the door for Ricky? That definitely brings him back into the picture, though. Not what Nicholas wanted there for sure. Just opened that gap up, and now he's going to have to do it all over again. It's one of those things where, these guys can set hot laps and go, oh, you're going to win. But there's this little thing called racing, and sometimes the gods smile upon you. Sometimes you get a rough day, and looks like Nicholas is already putting the hammer back down to open that gap back up. See, Nate, now they're not pitting this go round. I know they're not taking tires, but you have to wonder, if you do pit a little early, can you cool a tire down maybe during your pit stop phase and gain a little bit of something? Start playing some of the big games. Ricky not quite going to be close enough this time. Showing they've got a few lap cars ahead of them, so is Ricky going to have a chance to use a lap car as kind of a pick maneuver, maybe? There. Which looks like Schwartz is getting nice and close up to the back of Vorst there. These two have been going at it all race. Not a ton changing there. Let's go back and show our overall here for a bit. Yeah, very definitely some really good racing across the board here. Josh Betts getting past Stephen Wilcox there. Josh making that one look easy. Josh is yet to make his second stop. We will have to keep an eye here on Phil Adams and see if taking, let's see, what is he got, a 4-second gap to Jake in front of him. Is getting that extra lap on this tank. So he's able to save a little bit more fuel. Will that pop him up and come out of his pit phase in front of Jake, maybe? But the gap from Philip to Dan is 20.89, and considering their pit lane time for these second stops, they're in the 34-second range. That might be enough to promote. If he can one stop to put him up towards the top end of the field there. Definitely one to keep an eye on as a dark horse here tonight. And James Molyneux making a move there on Stephen Wilcox. James is running 14th currently, which is where he started this race. Nice to see James not off in the kitty litter somewhere tonight. Alan Gullison up 19 positions and has Kerry trying to run him down here now, but there's a 20-second gap between those two, so Alan's got a good thing. If he can catch the back of Tyler Reed, he can make it 20 positions gain, but currently your biggest gainer yet is still Ryan Merriam up 20 positions, so a good showing from Ryan here tonight as Tyler Reed takes to the pit lane. He is the first one in the top 10 headed down for their second stop. First stop, 17.88 seconds. So we will see how quick this second stop is. As you see, his car is not going up. Oh, no. It does appear, no. The Tyler did take some sort of tires. Checking back in with our leading group here. Yep. Nicholas managing to get a 1.7 second gap over Ricky there. So Ricky not able to use the traffic quite as effectively. Who else do we have? Schwartz going to take a look to the inside of Vorst there. Is this going to be the pit lane lap? He's got a little bit of a run. Gonna poke his nose to the inside and thinks better of it. On the binders. Down in here. Looks like the sun is back out. Checking out our weather here real quick. 79-degree track temp, so it's cooled off here a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And Schwartz kind of backing off of that move for the time being. Alan Gullison into pit lane. Let's see if Alan takes tires here. You can see sliding into his pit box there. I wish iRacing would show you when you spectate a session all the pit crews. So nice quick pit there out of Alan, 10.48 seconds. So probably indicative of some of the shorter stops we might see out of some of the guys up here in the front. Alan currently leading Stephen Wilcox in the silver division. Has a 3.8 second gap, but Stephen has not pitted for his second time yet. And that is Dan Griffith coming in, Nicholas Menard, but Ricky Renner stayed out. Wondering if Ricky running behind Nicholas may have saved some extra fuel as well. But as we watch through this pit phase here, we'll do a little bit of our sponsor reads. Kim Cups and More is your one-stop shop for all your apparel needs, whatever your pleasure. Kim's Cups and More has it all. Check them out on Facebook today. That's Kim's Cups with a K and more. So we do appreciate their sponsorship of this series. And we'll get in our last one here. The Backbone Candle Company, just a small candle company made by a tough mom, strong family, and a new dream. Check them out on Instagram, whatnot, Facebook, and TikTok. So, speaking of which, I need to order something for my new man cave. Just maybe which I need to get a lighter to light the one handle I do have down here. But let's see, looks like Josh Betts is in the pits there. See what kind of time he's putting up for a pit stop. I think Ricky Renner, yep, we're going to see him coming into the pits here. Will Philip Adams come in this lap, or is he going to stick it out one more? Or technically two more? Or will he go three more? But as you can see, he has a 1.8 second gap over Dan Griffin. So if he doesn't have to pit, judging by his best lap and Dan's best lap, he might be able to hold him off to the end. That's if he does not have to pit. But Ricky Renner coming out of the pits right on the back bumper of Nicholas Menard there. See if Ricky has a little something for him. Maybe a slightly colder tire fresh out of the pits. Might be able to get a little something there. Ricky 8.73 seconds is a pit stop time. Nicholas 11.78. So Ricky definitely making up some room in the pit phase there. Got a feeling Nicholas didn't expect to see Ricky where he did coming out of the pit lane. See a little smoke there. We may have a little bit of drama up ahead of him. Appears to be all good for these guys. Looks like that may have been Josh Betts. Let's see what happened with Josh here. Oh, loses it. Smokes the tires and stops right there. Like we had another one for Romario Jackson here. What happened with Romario? Loses the back end there. So, yep, that would have been one of those smoke clouds we saw. So unfortunate for Josh Betts. We had seen him doing so well. Ricky not letting Nicholas out of his sight there, but oh, a little bit of trouble with the lap traffic there. Is that going to give Ricky a chance? Ricky going to try a cut back line maybe, see if he can get a better run. They launch up into the long straight here. Like Nicholas getting a little bit of a better exit than Ricky on this particular one. I know the McLaren's one of those that a lot of the times when I try to save fuel in it, you wind up driving a little faster. So it's completely possible that Ricky just has that little bit more fuel, but unfortunately not looking like he's going to be able to capitalize and really make something of it unless Nicholas gets really held up here again. Going to the inside here. Lap traffic giving them plenty of racing room. And yep, Philip Adams showing him pitting on lap 34. Has come out on the back of Jake Browning there, so another one to keep an eye on here. I'm sure Nicholas is like, I'm going to the midfield here and everybody's spinning, and it's not the kind of thing you want to see when you're having a battle with the guy right behind you, is to see this much lap traffic. that's going to compromise Ricky's exit a little bit, likely. Is that going to do something? But right here, looking like Phillip Adams might have thought of trying to make a move there. They're going to go side by side. It's going to be a drag race. But now Jake is going to have the draft headed up the hill. How is this going to end into T1? We have 4 minutes left. Jake going to look to the outside here. Is he going to try to cut back in the last second? Nope. He's just going to try to stay glued to the back of Adams. Looking like Jake may have taken a little extra curve there. Maybe not able to get on the power the way he wanted to. Gap not quite closing up as much as I know he would have wanted. Looking at pit lane times between these two again. 7.17 for Phillip Adams, 10.23 for Jake. So that's a 3-second swing there just in the pit phase. And as I mentioned earlier, Michael Schwartz looking like taking an 8-second pit stop versus 10.48 for Vorse. So that right there, 1 second gap now has put Schwartz ahead of Brian. I guess Schwartz saw me do that to him last night in CSRL and wanted to make sure. In lap, out lap, and attacking the pit lane, it is worth something. Check in. What else do we have as we are winding down here? So Nicholas is able to close the gap down, and Dan now it's down to 5-7. Ricky's still chasing, but I think Ricky's going to need a little help with that lap traffic catching him somewhere. Unfortunately, it looks like Nicholas is catching him in the right spots, and Ricky's catching him maybe not in quite the right spot to really make up the time. There we go. Now these two back to a straight battle with no cars in the immediate future. Brian Vorse looking to try to maybe make a pass on Schwartz. He wants that position back. BMW, maybe not the car I would have picked for this particular track, but Schwartz has been staying with that BMW for a while now. He seems to mesh well with it. You see running those alternate lines, just trying to cover off any attempts. Yeah, it's real hard to pass if you park the car in the apex. But Schwartz has the FAF liveried Merc in front of him. So he'll be getting a decent draft off that big boat of a Mercedes. We are white flagged this time by. Oh, a little bit of contact between Vorse there. And now Vorse does not have a rear bumper. That's going to be painful. And will be something we'll have to look at later tonight. Check back in here, see if Ricky has any last minute something for Nicholas. Looks like Nicholas is going to take home the win here, or not the win, but it's second place. We knew Dan had led this one start to finish. And let's see who's going to be our bronze. It's going to be Zane. Congratulations, Zane, taking home the bronze one tonight. Oh, little after activities there, catching that. Looks like some of these guys still trying to finish there. Alan Gullison going to be taking home the silver win here tonight. So we're going to roll this back a little bit. Give me the replay and then we're going to hop on. Let's see here. Do I see Zane? Yep, there we go. Try to get Zane in here. Zane, this is John in the booth. You got a copy.
How's it going, John?
Going pretty good. You know, we saw you had a little bit of an issue there early on, but see you managed to make your way back up and took home the win in bronze tonight.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really quite expecting to qualify as high as I did anyway, but it seemed like I had a little bit of pace right off the bat, and I probably wouldn't have tried to force anything like that so soon. And I tried to work to switch up a little bit in turn 1 and 2, but I haven't even had a chance to go back and take a look at it yet. But that kind of thing happens all the time, and I knew that I could probably try to recover some positions being early in the race, so I picked up the wick a little bit and ended up coming home P12. Is not too bad for me.
Well, you know, I mean, it was the Senna S, and, you know, there's a saying that he has for that.
And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver.
I respect it.
So, I mean, if you're going to make that move, it's got the name in the corner. You have to.
That's the place to do it.
So, but no, congratulations on it. You know, definitely, you kept it interesting, gave us some good passes to watch. Saw you having a little bit of a battle there with, I think, Alan at one point.
Yeah. Yep. Alan's quick. I knew eventually he had a little bit of pace advantage on me, and I let him go. So I'll usually try to do that if I think if the speed differential is enough that it may be detrimental to one of us or the other.
Sometimes let the faster guy go and see what they're doing, and maybe you learned something along the way.
And I got it here to talk to you, so it ended up working out.
Well, again, congratulations. Anybody you want to give a shout out on that 55 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Well, thank you guys for your time, everybody at Core, for putting it together and having some road rookies out here like me. Even though I'm in the bronze class, I'm still, miles away from some of the guys out here, so it's good to compete on the same track.
I would say finishing 12th, I don't think you'll stay in bronze very long.
Hey, that's the way it works. That's the way it works.
Hey, I mean, even if you were in silver tonight, you were hot on the heels of Allen, who won silver. So, regardless, even if you get moved up, you're going to have some good competition.
Cool. Well, looking forward to it.
All right. Again, congratulations. I hope we'll catch you next week.
Thank you, sir.
All right. That was Zane Bierman, your bronze winner. We're going to pull Alan Gullison in here next. Alan, this is John in the booth. You got a copy.
Hey, how's it going, John?
Oh, it's going pretty good. So the Ford, how are the tires on it? Screaming in pain?
It was okay. Yeah, I mean, you know that it's going to be like that. So I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of pushing it a little bit there in the beginning, but on my second stint, I just kind of took it easy. I lifted a little bit more and tried going through the turns in a higher gear to save the tires. And yeah, I think by the end of the race, it worked out fine. But yeah, they were hurting a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to pick one GT3 car that is known for punishing its tires, I think it has to be the Ford there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but bringing home the silver win tonight. Congratulations! And I think next
Thank
week,
you.
where are we headed next week? I believe it is. It's right here. Next week is. Oh, Carl hadn't fixed it yet. Oh, Motegi.
Motegi. Yes, Motegi is gonna be fun. I love that track.
Yeah,
So
I don't know how fun it'll. Well, no, the Ford does pretty good over the curbs. You should be good.
yeah. Well, plus we're doing open setup, so
That helps. That helps a
right,
lot.
which I love. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like setting up cars a little bit. Sometimes it kind of sucks because you go the wrong way, and then you gotta like start from scratch and start all over. But I don't know. It's fun. Part of the fun of racing.
I'll say I'm just the type that says, "Give me the P1 docs, and I'll just run with that and be perfectly happy."
That's funny.
But no, congratulations. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that number 2 machine before we let you go celebrate?
I'm gonna give a shout out to you actually, soloing it in the booth with all these broadcasts. Obviously,
as long as y'all put on that kind of show, it's not too bad.
yeah. I mean, I've been in. Obviously, I was in the booth before, but I don't think I've ever done it solo. It was always with somebody else. So yeah, shout out to you, man, for broadcasting solo. It's got to be a little bit more difficult, you know.
The good news is I like hearing myself talk, so
That's good.
it works out okay sometimes. But again,
Yep.
Congratulations, and hopefully we can catch you next week.
Yeah, definitely. See you next week.
All right. That was your silver winner, Alan Gullison, and now we are going to pull in. It is going to be Philip Adams, who is right there. Philip, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. Bringing home the win in gold tonight. Saw you pit a lap later than everybody else. Didn't know if you're going to try for the one stop again.
I didn't try for the one stop. I was trying to get that extra lap, and then the second pit, I was trying to get. I think I actually got 2 laps. I almost had a third lap on those guys, but I was just shy of it, and I knew I needed to pick up the pace a little bit. So that's what I just decided to just go faster.
Well, I mean that fuel saving definitely gave you the spot over Jake when it came to looking at y'all's pit times. I think it was 7 seconds versus 10 something.
Yeah, I think so too. And then the fuel saving helped me save my tires a lot more. I think when I got behind him there at the end, he was really struggling on tires and potentially fuel too, because I gapped him by like a second the last lap.
That is one thing that every time I've driven that McLaren, if I ever try to save fuel, I swear the thing goes faster.
It does, man. I in particular, when I'm driving to save fuel and just focus on my braking points and driving easy, then I just go a lot faster. So I try and do that and not focus on what everybody else is doing, just do my race.
Hey, sometimes it works out, I know we're going to Motegi next week. Not exactly the greatest track for the McLaren. It doesn't like the curbs as much as some of the others. And
That's very true.
That final S turd. I did that race in CSRL already. You have my pity.
Yeah, I'm not looking for it. I don't drive that track very often. I think I've only driven it like 3 times. So I'm gonna have to put some practice in next week just to get ready for it. But hopefully I can get up on pace.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the win here in gold tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 35 machine before we let you go?
Team Fat Boys, that's what we're all here. Got to eat more, get fat. That's what I'm talking about. So,
well, all right. Well, congratulations, and hopefully we can catch you again next week.
thanks, John. Have a great week.
You too. All right, that was your gold winner, Philip Adams. Now we're going to bring in Ricky Renner. Ricky, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy, John, in the booth. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Looks like, you and Nicholas, I swear y'all weren't more than a second apart for so much of that race, but, you did a good job holding him back for quite a while, but I guess just a little more pace than you at the very end of it.
Yeah, it was a little bit tricky out there. At the end, I was making some mistakes when I was ahead of him. I couldn't get turn 4 to save my life. And then there were a couple laps where I put it together. Like at the end of the stint, I pulled a little bit of a gap, and I was like, all right, we're gonna be good. And then I don't even know what happened at the beginning of the second stint. I think it was more the fuel saving. I was like, all right, let's try to save a little bit of fuel to get over this extra lap because it was pretty close. But just in that, and then a little bit of traffic. Next thing I know, he's on my bumper. And just kind of a decision of, do I want to stick with the fuel saving or not? And then I decided to, and it came out side by side with him, but I still took too much fuel. I was not sure if we were going to get 40 laps or 39. It was right on the bubble. It was like 39.9 the whole time. And yeah, took a lap extra fuel, and it cost me on the pit stop. But we had a lot of traffic to deal with and some unfortunate things. So, but he drove awesome.
Yeah, it looked like when y'all got into that final section there where you hit a bunch of the lap traffic, it seemed like he was catching him on corner entry, and it was almost perfect for you, but you would catch him on corner exit and have to let up or swerve
Yeah,
around him a little too much to really make use of it.
there were a couple, like I think it's like turn 5 or 6 right there that
Mhm.
were really, really unfortunate for him. And one of them was pretty bad. He got kind of run off the road, and I could have threw it down the inside, I think. But
I
to me,
saw
like
you where it looked
that's
like you wanted to.
yeah, it's not not as fun doing it that way. So I was like, we'll continue the race here. It's more fun that way.
Well,
Earn it.
regardless, good sportsmanship on that. You know, we're headed to Motegi next week. You know, I know we've already been there in CSRL, but you looking forward to that one again, or not really?
Um, yeah, a little redemption. It's an odd track. I mean,
It is,
it has a really good layout that would think it would invite a lot of passing opportunities, a lot of long straightaways and 180s.
and it doesn't.
But yeah,
at
for
all.
some reason, it's like you just can't quite get there to like make a good pass. But I mean, that's car racing, right? It doesn't really matter
Well,
where we go. Every week we seem to be like, oh, there's no passing, there's no passing, there's no passing, and it's just the nature of car racing.
it's one of those things that's kind of like Canadian Tire, where there's room, but there's one line that
Yeah,
works, and off of that
yeah,
line you lose so much.
yeah. It's it's inviting, but if you don't make it, you're losing a lot of time, and then you kind of got to weigh the odds of like,
Yeah,
if I lose a second
what's this
here to the
battle
guy in
gonna?
front, am I
Mhm.
gonna, yeah. So, but it's been fun.
Well,
Looking forward to
yeah,
next week.
yeah, third place. You know, can't be too upset about that, but
Hey, those guys are rookies. I won. We'll take
yeah,
it for now.
yeah. For now, you won platinum. Give it about
Yeah,
three more
We'll
races.
take it
I
for
got a
now.
feeling I know exactly where Dan and Nicholas are going to be headed. In the I
I'll
don't
have some
need
input for
David's
that.
formula to tell me.
I'll have some input for that.
Yeah. But again, congratulations. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 53 machine?
Shout out to the whole simraces.com crew tonight. They were all in there. We're keeping each other's spirits high on a night where there were some low points. Shout out to the whole core group for an awesome series that they put on. And a special shout out to you for holding it down in the booth by yourself. Everyone
Hey,
bailed on you and you're here.
hey, if y'all keep racing like that, I don't mind it. It's fine. I can talk about that all
Yeah.
day. It's when everybody has a 2 second gap and there's no one else to talk to that it gets real boring real quick.
Yeah, I feel it. I said I
But
was going to join you in the booth during the race, but I didn't have an opportunity to do that.
well, I appreciate you not, because definitely
Yeah, it's
gave
a
us
little
something to
stressful.
talk about. But again,
All right.
congratulations, and hopefully we'll catch you next week at Motegi.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. That was third place, Ricky Renner. We're going to pull Nicholas Menard in here now. Nick, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing tonight?
Oh, doing all right. Yeah, just got done talking with Ricky, and I mean, the two of y'all weren't more than about a second apart for so much of that race. Yeah, did you expect to see him when he was coming out of pit lane right side by side, or was that a little bit of a surprise?
Yeah, no, it was a little bit of a surprise. I had that little bit of gap going in, but one thing I did was made sure I took extra fuel. So I went heavy. I think I had like almost 2 laps extra fuel. So it was fun coming down the hill there. I saw him coming out of pit lane. I was like, this is gonna be close. And then we had a little drag race, and then I think he was a little tighter on fuel, so he lifted, let me by, and then we just kind of tried to survive some traffic.
Yeah, the traffic. I definitely saw you had one or two probably brown pants moments. One car spun right in front of you. Also, you having to hit the brakes and take evasive action.
That's right. Yeah. Got a little exciting. But luckily, we didn't hit anybody, didn't ruin anybody's race, so it was all clean for the most part. I mean, that's what happens when you got a lot of cars on track. Things happen, racing happens, so it was fun though.
Oh, absolutely. Well, like I said, appreciate you putting on a good show for us. Anybody you want to give a shout out to in that 100 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, shout out Ricky for some good, hard, clean racing. It was a good battle, and then of course my teammate Dan for putting together a fast setup in this Ferrari.
Yep. It is nice to see Dan make it past turn 1 this time.
Yeah, I told him I qualified poorly on purpose, so I didn't wreck him in turn 1 again.
Yeah, we saw that turn 4 when I was looking through everyone's qualifying. I hate that corner. I hate that corner
Yeah,
with a
yes.
passion.
Make sure you ask Dan about it too. It's his favorite.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations. We're going to Motegi next. Is that on your list of fun tracks or not?
I don't believe I've ever raced there, so I would say no.
Ah, good. Get started learning the final chicane. The line's not where you think it's going to be.
I'll write that down.
Again, congratulations, and hopefully catch you next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Nicholas Menard. Now we're going to pull our race winner, Dan Griffin, in here. Dan, this is John in the booth. You get a copy.
Yep.
So, you kind of led that one start to finish, and didn't get a ton of TV time because you kind of just walked away from everybody. But
that's my preference.
I mean, even up front, did you have any issues? I mean, looked like most of the lap traffic was kind of getting out of your way. Definitely saw one or two guys kind of spin in front of you.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I had enough breathing room that I kind of I definitely coasted into a couple incidents, so that was good. So glad I had that gap built up.
So Nicholas said that you just absolutely love turn 4.
Oh no, that is unfair to say. No, that is I typically really struggle with Interlagos, and turn 4 is, I think,
I'm right
shows
there
some of
with
my
you.
shows some of my bad habits, and yeah, it was struggle.
It's like they could just put a little more banking, make
Yeah,
it 3 feet
or just get rid
wider.
of the off track and it'll be fine, you know.
Yeah, it's I mean, you see, even when F1 comes here, that race between Hamilton and Verstappen through there, they just
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But
it invites you to push really hard, but that's not the right thing to do.
that's right. Yeah. Well, especially with iRacing off tracks versus kind of forgiving stewards or whatever. So
Absolutely. And so we're headed to Motegi next week. Is that on your list of fun tracks or?
yeah, I think it's in my upper half, honestly, of tracks and iRacing. I tend to enjoy it, even though it doesn't get a whole lot of
The line through the last little chicane is not what you think it is.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like the whole last sector actually is a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
That's it. Being in the Ferrari, I know it likes the curbs a lot better than the McLaren. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been we haven't driven it a whole lot, so it's been a fun refresh kind of to jump into a new car for us.
well, again, congratulations on the win. Anybody want to give a shout out to on that 101 machine before we let you go celebrate?
No, just 100 Force guys, Casey and Nicholas for all their teammate support and all that. So looking forward to next week.
All right. Well, hopefully we can catch you again next week.
Sounds good.
That was your race winner, Dan Griffith. And I think that's everybody. So from everyone here at CRN, keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down, and we will catch you next week.